Hey everyone, it's Mark with Launchpad B again, and today I'm coming in with a tutorial on creating an animated graphic so that you can post to LinkedIn or to other platforms. To kind of get you an idea of what I'm talking about, I see a lot of folks on LinkedIn that are very regularly posting, and they'll create a graphic similar to the one I have on screen here. Now mine's too busy. There's too much language on here. That's on purpose. But it's basically a message and then a logo of their own company. Now I'm using my head. I'm not using the Launchpad B icon. I know I probably should be, but I'm just having fun today. So this isn't an advertisement for Launchpad B, but hey, you want to hire me, I can do stuff for you. Anyways, so this is going to be a animated graphic. So what's going to happen is the goal is to basically have a graphic that doesn't just give you all the language at once. It kind of gives you language in pieces, you know, bang, 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 leading up to the logo at the end. And I'm going to be doing this using PowerPoint. The good news is since we're using PowerPoint, it's something you probably already have. You've probably already used it, and it's not that difficult. Now, I'm not going to use the E word. As soon as I say the E word, easy, things go sideways. So we never use that word, but it's not that difficult. So here we go. We're going to go ahead and start with a blank canvas. So this is just a blank PowerPoint presentation. We need to go ahead and select a theme if that's what you want, or you can just draw everything from scratch. I'm going to go ahead and go with a blank layout here. And then what we're going to do is, if you're posting this, it's at the end of it, it's going to be an MP4. We can leave it at widescreen, which is what I prefer to do, but the format on sites like Instagram or sites like LinkedIn is typically a 1x1 square. So let's go ahead and resize our slide to be a 1x1. So I'm going to go under Design at the top, under Slide Size, I'm going to select Custom, and then I'm going to go ahead and change it to a 1x1 ratio, which to me is going to be 10 inches by 10 inches. You can do whatever you want. If you want to do 20 by 20, 5 by 5, it doesn't matter. Just going 10 by 10 because it's a standard 1x1 ratio. It doesn't matter if you maximize or ensure fit. We're just going to select maximize for now. And what I'm going to do now is I could actually just create it on the blank slide if I wanted to, but I want to add a little bit of more pop. So I'm going to select this guy here. Actually, that's not really fitting properly. Let's try this black one. Now I'm going to find one that works pretty for everything. Hey, look, we're going to use the floor and the wall. Why not? So here we go. So the first thing we're going to do is we're going to start adding our language. Now I'm going to go ahead and mimic what we already have, which is this slide here, learn to create animations using PowerPoint. So let's go ahead and go back to here, and we're going to begin inserting our words. Now I'm going to use word art. It doesn't have to be word art, but that's what I'm going to use. I'm going to go ahead and type in learn to create animations. That's where I'm going to stop. And this color's not the good thing, but let's just keep going with it. And I'm going to put it here. Let's make it a little bit bigger. All right, and let me see if I can do something to make this kind of pop. Can I add an outline to it? There, yeah, look at that. Why not? So learn to create animations. That's our first slide. Now we're going to duplicate the slide. And then on the next slide here, I'm going to add the next line, which is using PowerPoint. Right? Nice and easy. Now I'm going to make this font larger because I want to get the most out of this. I want this to scream to our viewers. So we're going to make that a little bit bigger to where it doesn't take up the whole thing, but there's a lot of space. So animations, and then this is font size 88. So let's go ahead and go here to 88 as well. And I'm sorry, I should have probably had this under control before, but here we go. PowerPoint's going to be its own guy here. So here we go. Learn to create animations using PowerPoint. Cool, right? Now we're going to move on to the next. So we're going to duplicate again. The next slide says it's really easy. So let's go ahead and add my it's really easy. I'm going to put it up here. Oh, capitalize. All right. I'm going to make this jump down like this. I'm going to lower this a little bit. All right, we're going to duplicate this slide again. Go back here. Now I'm going to delete this because we're building the top and the bottom text one at a time. And the reason we're doing this is because the way that PowerPoint is designed is that there's a delay between text showing up. So if I did every line as its own space, there's going to be a lot of awkward gaps in it. So with testing, I found that the best way to do it is to do line, line, next slide, line, line, and just keep building it that way. So that's what we're going to be doing today. So it's really easy, and it's going to say and effective. That's our next line. So now we're going to put and effective. And we're just going to add that right there. Boom. Really and effective. Okay. And now we're going to duplicate again. It's easier for me to duplicate. I'm going to delete this. And now our last line is you can even add a logo. So let's go ahead and put that. You can even add a logo. And I'm going to put this down and low. And then the logo we're going to use is my head. I don't know why. Well, actually, you know what? Let's use the new Launchpad B logo. Let's go ahead and promote myself here. So let's go ahead to insert. Let's go to insert pictures from this device. Wherever you have your picture stored. Hey, mine are already here. We're going to do a Launchpad B. This is a new logo that I'm playing with. But there we go. So it's even easy that you can add a logo. So here's what we have now. Learn to create animations. Oh, we got a problem. These fonts aren't the same. Let's fix that right quick. We're going to delete this. We're going to steal this one. Copy. See, I didn't use the E word. So that's why we're not having problems, right? Learn to create animations using PowerPoint. It's really easy and effective. You can even add a logo. Okay, so now we're going to go ahead and create the animations. So the way it's going to work is like this. We're going to start with number 1. We're going to go over to transitions. We're not doing animations, not yet. We're doing transitions. So we're going to select how do we want it to come in. Do we want it to slide in? Do we want it to kind of come in from the top? Do we want curtains? Wind? No, I don't really like those. We want something fast. So let's see here. That's not too pretty. Reveal, too slow. Split, wipe, and fade. Let's go with fade. All right, let's keep it simple. So that's going to be my first animation. Now in the top right corner over here, what we're going to look at is going to be the how long it takes. So the effect that we have, I'm going to have it come in at 0.75. My microphone's in the way. And then we're going to say how long is it going to be on screen? Well, we want the duration to be for 2 seconds. That should be enough time. I'm going to unclick, mouse click, for that text to be read before the next text shows up. So now we're moving on to the next screen. Now on the next screen, our duration, how long it takes for the effect to happen, we're not going to have any kind of an effect here. It would be a little bit too much, but I'm going to change this to something fast. The lowest value I can add is 0.01. All right, and again, we want this to be on screen for 2 seconds. Continuing on, again, we're going to go ahead and say duration here is going to be 0.01, and the distance or the time is 2 seconds. Unclick on mouse click, okay? Make sure we do that for all of them. So here we go. 0.75, that's how long the animation happens. We have it on screen for 2 seconds. Next one, 0.01, that's going to be for 2 seconds. Again, removing the mouse click. Next slide, it's going to be duration 0.01 for 2 seconds, removing the mouse click. And slide number 3, duration, or it's going to be again 0.01. That's the animation time. And then 2 seconds, removing the mouse click. Okay. And then we get to the third one. Now here's where we're going to get a little bit more complicated. Again, duration is going to be the same, 0.01. And we want this one to stay on screen for 5 seconds. And here's why. The text is going to appear, and then we want the logo to appear. We're going to remove the mouse click. So now what we're going to do is we're going to add an animation. So the logo comes in after the fact. So we're going to go to the top here. We're going to select animations. Do we want it to fly in? Yeah, let's fly it in. It's a rocket. Let's do that. All right. So the fly in is going to happen. Duration is 0.5. That's how long it's going to take. And when is it happening? It's going to happen after the previous. So what that does is that allows the logo to appear, or the wording to appear, and then the logo comes in after the fact. So at this point, we've basically created the animation now. So now we're going to export this, and I'm going to export it as a, well, first I'm going to save it as a, let's call it rocket logo. Why not? And then I'm going to save it as an MP4. Save as an MP4. Okay. Now I'm going to in the desktop and save. Now on the bottom here of the screen, you're going to see where it is basically creating the MP4. It's rendering an MP4. And once this is done, we can go ahead and preview. So let's go ahead and go to the MP4 here. Rocket logo, rocket logo. So let's play that and let's see how it looks. All right, create animations using PowerPoint. All right, it's really easy and effective. You can even add a logo. Great. Okay, I kind of like that. So let's go ahead and go back. Now, what I'm going to do now is I'm going to add some music. Another thing I'm going to add is I want to delay this coming up. So I'm going to add a 0.25 of a second delay, but I'm going to add music to it. Now, you don't have to add music. I'm kind of taking it to the next level. There is a rule that's called the KISS rule. If you're familiar with it, it's keep it simple, Selena. It's BPC, right? All right, so what I'm going to do to insert music is I'm going to go to the top here. I'm going to go to insert. I'm going to select audio from my PC. Now, I already have a background audio clip. It's 12 seconds in length. It might be too long for this, but it'll actually stop at the end of the slideshow and then just repeat. So I'm going to select background audio. I've got it in the wrong slide. Let me cut it out of here. Let me put it into the correct slide. We're going to put it here. Now, this icon will be present. I'm just going to move it to the bottom right-hand corner here. And then going into the audio, now I want to make sure that I have my selection correct. And again, I apologize, my microphone's in the way. I'm going to select the playback option. We don't want it to crossfade or nothing like that. We do want it to come in automatically. And we want it here to play across all the slides. If not, it'll only play for 12 seconds on this very first slide and it won't advance. So we want it to go across the whole thing. I'm going to go back now. I'm going to save my file, and then I'm going to save it as an MP4. And I'm going to save over the existing file that we had, selecting save. Yes, I do want to replace it. And let's go ahead and let it render the file again. And now we're going to go ahead and play it and see how it looks. Here we go. Here comes the music. And that, everyone, is how you make an animated graphic. It's, again, we're not going to use the E word, but it's not very difficult. Hopefully this tutorial is helpful to you. If you're doing it, don't get ahead of yourself. Don't go crazy. Don't try to add too much up front. Get familiar with it first and then start playing with it. But I do encourage you, when you post on LinkedIn and you're posting some kind of a graphic, give this a shot. You already have PowerPoint. Might as well put it to use. Thanks for watching and good luck.